All right, our next segment, it's called Encounter Culture, where I am going to present a hook, just a hook, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then off of that, the three of us are going to brainstorm the story behind it, what kind of encounter and combat you could have go along with it, what type of resolutions could come out of it. Last time we ended up with some great NPC ideas and whatnot, so let's do that. So I have several choices over here.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I told you pick number 1 or number 2. This time I'd like you to pick the dice that happens to be sitting right behind your computer screen.
Holy shit, there's a
And
dice.
roll a d6, and we'll see which prompt we're going to work on today.
So much power. I got a 5.
I'm going to need you to roll again. I'm kidding.
No, you did it wrong.
No, I'm kidding. That's a terrible way to DM.
I just picked the one I want anyway.
No, I decide what number 5 was. Right. All right. The king is called for adventurers. His family portrait hanging up in the castle no longer shows his son, the prince. There's him, the queen, and this empty spot that used to be painted with the prince. The prince has been off on a royal mission for months and suddenly has disappeared from the painting. So that's the hook. Is a party going to go, oh, shit, yeah, let's go help the king out? For purposes of this exercise, we always have to assume the hook is going to be taken.
Right. Otherwise, kind of a bad exercise.
Everybody says, let's go to the bar instead. Okay, the segment over.
Segment done.
All right. So that's the hook. First off, what's the real story here?
So in my brain, the first place I went to is like the royal family doesn't know it's cursed and it's like tied to this painting, right? And so eventually you find that there's all these royal paintings in the castle of the lineage of this family, and all of the souls of the old family are trapped in these paintings. And the son, having done something, has removed himself from that curse, therefore is no longer bound to the painting. And so instead of it's that something as bad has happened to the prince, that whatever the prince has done can free the rest of the family.
Not bad. Not bad. John, you got what's the story behind that?
So, I think yours is pretty good.
Thank you.
Hey, Dursty, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we just take a hook that we came up with, and
we're making it right now.
Right now. Boom.
This is the brainstorm.
Who knows where this is going to go?
Yeah.
So, the prince, while he has been on mission, has also been dabbling in things that mere mortals maybe shouldn't dip their toe into. And he's, on the way there, made a very powerful enemy. So powerful, in fact, that the prince no longer exists outside of anywhere but memory. Wiped all presence of him from the world. Wiped out portraits, birth certificates, deeds, wills.
He's been redacted
He
from
has
everything
been
but memory.
completely redacted from reality, and the only people that still remember him are just remembering him.
Nice. I like that one. Similar to what I was thinking. Mine was somehow, some way, the prince has gone to a different plane of existence. And that's when his image
poofed
to a corresponding portrait in a different plane of existence.
That's kind of cool, like an upside down plane.
That is cool.
Yeah, don't get us sued. The upside down.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
I was making a face of getting sued.
Ain't nobody got time for lawyers around here.
So, building on your idea, Emily, that the family is cursed and that the paintings basically capture and hold the souls of this royal family, and nothing bad has happened to the prince, but he's found a way to break that curse, and
Mhm.
now his soul is no longer held in the painting.
Mhm.
I kind of like hers better than mine.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And I was thinking something about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Having one of those moments.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, all the buildup by the time I got to the and so I was thinking part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just like it when it
Deal
turns
with the devil.
Oh.
He sold his soul to the devil.
Right. Not realizing it was already spoken for.
So it was kind of like a little bit of a twist on yours, like nothing bad happened to him. He broke the curse. And my twist was, well, something bad did happen to him, but he sold his soul to the devil. And so the devil has just accumulated everything that represents that guy's soul because it's now his property.
Right. I like it. What do you think?
I'm mulling it over. I kind of like it both ways.
Do you now? So I like the idea of it being like he's done something that has freed him, because inherently when you're presented with this, you're like, oh no, something terrible has happened to the prince. But I like when you find out, no, actually something terrible has happened to the family. And it's like, we have to do something about the family.
Yeah. And I think now that you say it that way, I like the potential that way better. So the prince is actually okay.
He's fine.
Because it seems like from this hook that the adventure, the encounter is going to be go save the prince.
Right.
But actually, you're probably going to go find an absolutely fine prince and realize you got to get your ass back there and save the king and the queen.
Right.
They're the ones really in danger.
Right.
When you find him, he's going to be like, hey, what are you doing here? Like,
You're no longer in the family portrait. I've been disowned. No, it was magical.
Oh.
All right. So the hook is the prince disappeared from the painting. He's been gone for a couple months doing princely duties. What the hell's going on? King and queen are worried. They call for adventurers to go out.
Yes.
The actual story behind all of that is that there's a curse on this royal family. These portraits actually capture their soul.
Mm-hmm.
And he has found a way to break the curse.
Correct.
So I think there's a couple gaps in there that we got to fill, but we could probably fill them as we move to what would the encounter be?
Yeah.
Because the gap is who cursed him?
Right.
Right. What is the nature of that curse? So, so presumably they do some investigation. We'll eventually find out the prince is okay.
Yep.
So what were you thinking encounter wise?
So I think that the encounter is, for me, it would be something along the lines of coming back from meeting the prince, doing the research, finding some like necromancer that the family made a deal with or something many generations ago, and having to go find that necromancer to relieve the curse.
so what if instead of a necromancer, it was more of a Disney type thing, like Beauty and the Beast, like a traveler had shown up at the castle at some point and they were just complete asshats to her because she was old and ugly, and she left and put a curse on them. And then like 300 years later, while he's on patrol, he happens upon her cabin and she's out back like chopping wood or something, and
he's kind and helpful,
chivalrous, and oh, madame, let me chop that wood for you. You should be inside. You are very sweaty and tired.
I am a Frenchman.
I am Frenchman. Baguette, oui, oui. And so
that's what French people say.
Like he leaves, and
because now I love this because now our players have a moral dilemma, because this hag or whatever who did this curse is the enemy, but she also just did something very nice for the kid. Like, damn it, do we kill her or not?
And then they have to figure out, do we kill her or not? And if we are wanting to get the curse off of everybody else, how do we go about that?
What if she issues to the adventurers, once they figured this out, she's like, if you want to free the family, here are 3 trials or 2 trials that you have to get through in order to free the family.
Not bad at all, and I think I really liked that. But I'm going to throw out an alternative just so we got something to discuss. It's the guy who paints the portraits. As he's painting the portraits, he's some kind of magic user or whatever, and he is capturing their souls. And it's actually been this guy for hundreds of years.
The soul magic's keeping him young.
And he just keeps painting and stealing their souls.
I like that.
And so the party's going to go off, find the kid. And, how did he break that curse? Maybe it's a proximity thing.
Maybe it is.
He got far enough away from those paintings that there was no connection left, and it broke.
But then, how do you save the rest of the family? That is a thing, because then you have to come back.
Kill the guy.
You have to kill the guy. No, I like that.
I think I like that too.
Let's roll with that.
How about it, Chat? Should it be that the young prince has gone off and been nice to the original curser of the family, and that person removes the curse? And then the question is, what can the adventurers do to convince that person to remove the rest of the curse?
Mm-hmm.
Challenges, feats, whatever. And Mumbleford, let's pull it all together. She says, what if the witch is the artist? Mumbleford, he says, what if the witch is the artist? We can marry these two up real good. Every time there's a change in the royal family and a new portrait's got to be done, that hag of a witch comes strolling into town, but this disguises or transmutates herself into
I like that.
The portrait.
Destroying the portraits could work too, because they're not necessarily all in the same castle. I'm sorry, but your portrait is in another castle.
All right, so there could be a couple ways that you could satisfy this encounter, right? You could dispatch the person who has placed this curse through the use of these.
So fight the witch.
Right. Fight the witch, or go and find
all the
paintings and destroy them.
Or reason with
Presumably some of them are well guarded by people who don't want them destroyed. Maybe even the king and queen that sent you on a quest, when you come back and start destroying priceless portraits, they stick the guards on you.
That's true. So that's really a choice for your players. They can choose to fight their way through this, or they can try to go back and destroy the paintings, or even reason with the witch, like, what can we do to end this curse? So it really comes up to, so the encounter becomes how they choose to play.
And you as a DM have a choice. If you know your party really loves that combat, you can set it up that way. And if you know that they're more of a problem-solving, puzzling party, you can
set it up that way. Because you should know your
and your combat-loving players could surprise you and want to go the role play.
That's true.
Problem-solving way, but I think there's enough flexibility in this thing that you could zig and zag with them on this. All right, so we took a simple hook that was royal portrait, the prince who has been off for a couple months doing princely things, his image disappears from this painted portrait. King and queen are worried this means something bad for him, and they've called the adventurers to go off and find. The adventurers go off and find that the prince is actually just fine, but has the curse broken because he has done something nice and kindly for the witch who was slighted by the royal family many, many years ago. And as revenge, every time there's a need, comes back into town, disguised as a painter, paints their portraits and captures their soul. And by doing that is allowing her to take some of that energy and live longer and longer. So they found that out. Now they can either role play, bargain with the witch, try to get this taken care of, or there could be combat involved, or it could be a combination of the two, right? Bargain with the witch who says, well, go take care of these things for me. And maybe she says, what you got to do is you got to go to each of the 3 castles in this area and destroy the paintings. And at one of those, I would think, at least one of those castles, there's There's
Big
a
bad.
combat encounter.
Oh yeah. No, I like it. I think it's epic.
Right, and so the conclusion, the resolution for this thing is that either the witch voluntarily, through whatever bargaining methods, removes the curse and everybody lives happily ever after,
Very Disney.
or they go on a quest / combat to make it end.
In that way, you know, it can be a small, kind of self-contained, one-shot-ish type thing, or it could spill out into a big thing. If
And anything in between, right? This could be a 1-shot, a 3-shot, or build a whole campaign.
Because once you start getting royal families, and there's always something going on with the royal family.
Those royals. What are you going to do?
Typical.
All right, cool. So this week's Encounter Culture, what's a cool, catchy name for this week's Encounter Culture?
Watercolor witches.
I'm going to write that down because it's not bad right off the top of your head there.
All right.
Watercolor witches.
Royal motives. I don't know.
Bad optics. Or is that too topical to today's royal family?
Maybe.
Too topical.
A portrait of mystery. It's very general.
My brain wants to do something with the word visage.
The Painted Prince.
The Painted Prince is a good one.
I think that's the one I like the best so far.
All right. Thank you, everybody in chat, for helping us along with
Yeah.
that. That was some cool stuff coming out of the beautiful minds in chat. The power behind the portraits. That's actually pretty good, too. I'm writing
Oh, I
that
do
one
like that
down,
one.
Mumbleford, and we're going to have to do a vote here later. But either the Painted Prince.
my
Jesus,
God, you
quit
guys are
coming up with
killing it.
good ones. Oil in the water. Damn it. All right.
So they're just gonna have to wait and get the.
We're gonna come up with a name from all of these great choices here. Hey, let me tell you where you're gonna be able to find these. What we do after brainstorming these is we're going to put them into about a 2-page encounter that will be put on the Percentile Vice website or our coffee or both, and go download it for free. Give them away. Print out
Right
a
now,
bunch of them and give
Pretty
them to
sure coffee is going to be the better choice.
I think it is.
coffee.
So that way
Free
you guys can
download
take
on
it.
our coffee. And remember, you guys helped.
Oh, the unpainted prince. That.
Oh,
Forget one.
okay. God darn
Hold
it.
on. Yeah, write it down.
I'm writing that one down. I wrote all the good ones
Those are
down,
great.
but I have a feeling we might have a new winner here.
But yeah,
That
so
one was really good.
you guys
Mumbleford.
can get the PDF of it and then use it in your own groups, your own campaigns. Let us know how it goes. So we'd
Yeah.
love to hear back from
The
you.
great
saying,
thing about these little
What?
encounter cultures is the way we write them up. You could have a group that's been playing for a while, and then this session you just want it to be a little side quest, a little break from things. You ought to be able to drop these into just about any game that you've got going. And we also try to write them up so they're very scalable. So if your players are 2nd level or they're 7th level or higher, you can tweak these things to make them work for your group. So we're going to just keep doing that and keep adding free content out there because that's the kind of people we are.